Hello. How have you been?
Good.
Great to see you again.
Yeah. Hi, guys. How are we doing today?
Woo, indeed.
Varying amounts of energy. That's where I am, too.
We are. It's the 4-day shows that throw us off.
Yeah.
We get so used to a 3-day paradigm.
Thursday feels like Friday.
Yeah, and now it's like we got one more day tomorrow, and that's the big one.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely. So, how you been? I haven't seen you in a
good.
while. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I see you pretty regularly.
Yeah, probably like every 6 to 9
Yeah.
months we cross paths somewhere. All that
No,
fun
I'm
stuff.
good. I'm good. Just got back from Hawaii, so.
Ooh. Aloha.
Yeah.
That's what you. You know what? I've never had a chance to talk to you about this. So you're so prolific, again, in front and behind the booth and everything else in your roles and stuff. What's a typical week for you like nowadays?
That's a good question.
Between your directorial responsibilities, your acting responsibilities, and I know you're involved in meetings in between for various things and whatnot. So
Actually, a little over a year ago, I retired.
oh, really cut that
From directing and producing. So
Okay.
it is a good question because my days are so wildly different from what they have been for the last 20 years. But I retired from directing and producing so I could focus on acting. So I'm very sad to no longer be directing My Hero Academia and no longer producing all of the awesome shows at Crunchyroll. But now I get to do a lot more voice acting and focus on that.
more you.
Yeah. Doing a little bit more work in LA. So I would say the retirement part means that I am doing Pilates 3 times a week. And I am at home when my kid gets home from school. And, I get to actually see my husband in the daylight hours. But then I'm also voice acting an easy 10 hours a week. Sometimes in my closet and sometimes at a studio. And then I'm doing way more of these. So I'm out 20 to 22 weekends a year.
About right.
Including the Thursdays, yeah. So I am a lot less busy than I was.
Well, you earned it.
Thank you.
You earned it over the tremendous
I
career.
was tired.
And directorially, again, you gave so much opportunity to so many people. And again, and in My Hero, again, I've said this before, the great thing about that series was there were so many great characters, so many great parts and stuff like that. And
Yeah, that was a special one.
it really was. It really was. And again, I've said this before too. It made anime fans and Western comic book fans and Western comic fans and anime fans. And
It's
those
a good
were
gateway drug now.
and those were parallel lines of fandom that kind of stayed in their lanes, but that got people jumping from one to the other.
Yeah, I think, if you're in a family where not everybody watches anime and somebody wants to get somebody else into anime, you can get them with that comic book tie-in. So yeah, it is a good gateway. It's not as much of a gateway as Fairy Tale and Rosario plus Vampire, which I have found the gateway drug for all of you. Everybody who comes to my line, it's either Dragon Ball Z or Fairy Tale or Rosario plus Vampire. I don't know why, but that's the truth.
Absolutely. Before I jump on out, it always pops up, so let's just get it out of the way. What would be your briefest advice to somebody who would like to get into this line of work?
It's so hard these days.
It is. I know, and it's the answer we all had a couple years ago. Not
Kinda
quite the
changed,
same.
and I think it's going to change some more. I think the sad truth is there's no real one line through anymore. It used to be, you could get involved in theater, and then if anybody was involved in your theater group, if anybody was involved in voice acting, they could get you in the door, which is what happened with me. I was in theater with Laura Bailey, and Laura brought me up to the studio and got me in. And that happened a lot. And now it just can't. It's just too big of a machine. And it's become a lot more, I'll say professional. Another word is corporate. And so I think some of the good about that is you're getting a lot more anime. You're getting it a lot quicker. We've become extremely efficient, so everything is good and is a lot closer to the translation, all that good stuff that you love. But it also means that you are more likely to get a job in acting there if you have an agent. If you have experience, whatever that means, if sometimes they'll be pulling in influencers, sometimes they'll be pulling in people who have experience voice acting in video games, and so they're translating to anime, or the other way around. And I know that's not fun to hear, especially for people who are hoping to break into the business. I do think that sometimes people are doing fan dubs. Like if you go out and you make your own stuff, your own content in any way, shape, or form, even if it's related to the licenses, that can kind of translate to people paying attention, and you can build a reel that way. So that happens sometimes.
That's what I've said. Is a lot of doors are closing,
Yeah.
but I've always told, especially this really young generation right now, is that you have the greatest opportunity to create
You do.
on your own and your own thing and your own brand or whatever you want to call it. And I always borrow a line from Steve Martin, said, "Become so good they can't ignore you."
Yeah, actually, that's fantastic. Yes, that is very true. And the old ways are still there. It happens occasionally.
It's like
Voice
Narnia.
acting workshops.
Yes.
Voice acting workshops are a great way to at least get yourself heard by somebody who might possibly have the ability to get you in. So, but in like 10 years, AI will have taken over all of it. So, there's that.
Yeah. And that'll be the last conversation we'll mention about AI. It's a sticky wicket. I don't like to bring it up.
I'll talk about it as long as you want.
Okay. All right. If you want to.
I'm real mad.
No. To me, it's one of those things. Well, it's like Narnia. Nobody gets in the same way twice. Yeah, it's something that way too. But all right, I'm gonna jump out of there. But as always, thank you for your talents and your professionalism and all this amazing work you've done in this industry and really helping make anime. Because again, you know me, I'm old school. I remember when it was Japanimation,
Yes.
and it was VHS tapes being traded around and stuff like that, and everything else
Speed
too.
Racer and Pokemon only.
Star Blazers.
Yeah.
But you and your generation, all your peers have live it this way. A year ago, I'm not trying to name drop here. William Shatner asked me out of the blue, "Patty, what is anime?"
Oh, that's so cute.
Because he thought it was one thing. He thought it was
anime.
something called anime.
Aw.
That too. And me and Mike Broder, we broke it down for him and stuff. So, so he gets it now.
That's cute.
But the fact of the matter is, out of the blue, it's getting there too, and so much awareness of it, and more importantly, respect.
Yes, that took a long time, and it's still in in the world at large. It has a lot more respect than it does in the industry. It's taking a lot of time for the voice acting industry to catch on to the idea that dubbing can be an art form and can be considered something that is a part of the industry that should be paid at equal scale. I don't know how long it'll be before that catches on, but.
We're just gonna ride this wave until it ends.
It's very funny. It's been funny to see the people who like maybe 10 years ago would have been like, "Oh no, I'm a video game actor," and now they're like, "So how would I audition for Crunchyroll?"
Yeah, it's interesting like that. So it's been a great ride, and may it last as long as it does.
Amen.
Absolutely. All right, we'll probably got a bunch of questions, so we can just start off a line in the middle right here. That way our cameras can get on you when we put this up.
Do it. You're
Let me
good.
Get
You're
my
good.
ammunition.
Stay.
Yeah, right here. All right. All right, there it works. I'll hold the microphone. All good. Okay. So, what's your name?
Harrison.
Harrison. What do you want to know, Harrison?
What's your favorite arc in One Piece?
Ooh. Can I have several? Okay. It's for a long time. Water 7 Enies Lobby has been peak. But I will say, I think by the time Egghead is done, Egghead might be up there. And then I love. I'm gonna name like so many. It's not gonna count anymore. But I love Whole Cake. I love Thriller Bark, and I love Impel Down. And I know that there is a large subset of the One Piece viewing people for whom Dressrosa, Wano, and Marineford are your favorites. There's that group, and then there's the group that's with me.
Do you have a favorite?
I would say maybe the Whole Cake Island.
Nice. I don't hear
Good
that
one.
enough.
Good one. Here you go. You get two
with
for being
you.
our first one. Thank you much. Okay. Hey, what's your name?
Oh, I'm Michael.
What's that, Michael?
Well, I don't actually have a question. I just wanted to tell you that my second favorite anime is one that I heard that you were really, really, really behind as a producer. Holic. and it hurts my heart that we never got to see the rest of that, and
I
that it's such a pain to get a
know.
hold of.
That was such a trip because I started out directing Tsubasa Chronicles, which was Clamp as well, and I was directing it. My intention was not to be a big part of the show, but there was an episode 2 character named Yuko, and I was like, oh, that suits me, and I'd love to be in it somewhere. So I put myself into episode 2, and then she got a whole series. And she was the lead of Holic, which was fantastic for me, but also not my intention. But I loved her. I would play her every day, all day long. She just is so easy. And if I could be any of my characters, I would be her, who would not want to be a dimensional witch who knows everything. But we never got to do season 2. And Todd was brilliant in that one. He was so good.
It was a great show. And
Yeah.
yes, thanks again.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Here, have a green one. I'll match your shirt. Thank you. Hey, what's your name?
My name's Blake, and my question is, what's your all-time favorite Luffy quote?
I change it up every now and again, but the truth is the one that sticks is, oh man, I thought I was going to get to see a goat.
All right. Now, he just burned the roundabout way that you get people to do the characters and stuff with the quote. So the bridge is burned. You have to find a more innovative way. All right. Like I said, she'll let out. All right. What's your name?
Lucas.
Hi.
Who's the most fun Luffy fight to play?
I'm sorry, one more time?
What's your favorite Luffy?
Oh, what's
Luffy
my favorite
fight?
Luffy fight? I don't know way to not be a spoiler. It involves Rob Lucci.
Okay. Do you have a favorite fight?
I have so many. Like both of the Rob Lucci fights.
Yeah.
Katakuri,
I
Doflamingo.
think those, way up there. And I think sometimes things can get very drawn out, and that was very succinct. Also, it's just nice to see Luffy kick some ass.
Sure. Great question. Thank you. Hi, what's your name?
Hi, my name's Quinn, and my question is, what's your favorite My Hero Academia season?
That's hard. That's so hard. I think 6 was maybe my favorite overall, like the sheer number of episodes that crept up in my favorites. But arc by arc, I really liked the Sports Fest arc, and I loved Chisaki as a character. Overhaul was really cool. That's not an opinion most people share. But I liked working on that section. But I mean, honestly, 6 is just a really good, solid season. But I did not direct 7, and I'm waiting until 8 is done to watch 7 and 8. Although I've read it, so I'm sure one of those will be my favorite eventually.
And what's your favorite?
My favorite is probably also Sports Festival arc because
Yeah.
Mei Hatsume's in it, and I love her.
Yes.
Um,
Oh, she's so great.
And
Alexis is so good.
my favorite season is probably season 4 because we get to see Eri, and I love Eri.
I love Eri too.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, what's your name?
Alec. So we have reached a historic point when it comes to One Piece. The dub has finally caught up with the sub.
Oh.
I was wondering what your thoughts were on possibly in the future simul dubbing.
I don't know if simul dubbing would work for One Piece. I would love to be wrong about that. I've been wrong before. Justin Cook is a wizard. He is the person who initiated simul dubs. He is the reason that they exist. So if you like them, he's here. Go see him and thank him. He's the reason that we are able to dub so much anime so quickly. But I think even he has his doubts. That's a big machine. Those cogs take a long time to turn, and it's really hard. Like you get some random flashback to Ace, and suddenly we have to call in Travis Willingham, who has Critical Role schedule. So it's just hard. But I'm game. I'm there. I can do it.
Great question. Thank you. Hi, what's your name?
Morgan? There was a pretty big gap with like a hiatus during the dub, and you were doing like a lot of things like My Hero. What is it like as a voice actor to do a lot of prolific roles, and then you have this role that you did like 4 or 5 years ago, and then you have to go back to doing it? Like, is that
It changes, but depending, because that has happened a couple of times. With Luffy, it was just like when we found out it was coming back, because we were afraid that they were done. It just did not have the popularity in America or in the Western world that it did in Japan. And so we were afraid that they had decided not to continue the dub, because I'm sure it's an expensive license. I have no idea, but I'm assuming. So when they announced that it was coming back to us, there was this mad round of texts. Lucy and I just like, oh, we're back on the boat, just so thrilled. So that was like just exciting that it was returning, with no expectation that it would become what it has become in the later years. But then there's other things like Fairy Tale that just took a long time to come back, but we knew it was coming back. I knew it was going to happen. I just didn't know when. And that's more like, come on, let's go. I'm ready to finish it. And I think it just kind of depends on the character. Luffy does take some arranging in my schedule. Like, I can't record 2 hours of Luffy and then record something else. So I have to be mentally prepared, and I have to be ready to like finagle my schedule a little bit when that's actually recording. So there was a little bit of that, but I was just happy he was back.
Cool. Great question. Thank you. Hi, what's your name?
Hi, my name is Mars. My question is, do you have any favorite alternative like design for a straw hat? It could be from like any of the arcs or any of the movies.
Like any of his character designs, like throughout the actual series,
It could be
not
Luffy's.
fan art.
It can be Luffy's or any straw hat like canon.
Oh, sure, okay.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I really loved all the film gold, everything. That was cool. And I liked, there was like a little brief moment in Wano when we saw them dressed as beast pirates. That was, I was mad that we didn't get to see them do anything in those costumes. That would have been cool. I like everything Brooke. Brooke looks fabulous all the time. I like everything Frankie. Every one of his transformations is so cool. I mean, I could go on and on, honestly. I think Wano had beautiful stuff. Any of the samurai stuff was really cool. But I like a lot of it. I would put some pants on the girls this season, but that's just me.
Do you have a favorite?
Yeah, I actually really like Thriller Bark Robin. Actually, any of Robin's pre-time skip designs. I love her bob.
Yeah.
Fair. Great question. Thank you. Hey, what's your name?
My name is Miles.
Hi, Miles.
And this may seem bold and audacious to ask you this, but who would win a fight? Dragon Ball's Gohan or the wrong way to use healing magic's Rose?
I mean, go on. Rose is lovely, but Gohan is Gohan. So, Gohan. I mean, train a little bit more and he's going to be destroying planets, so.
Hey, what's your name?
Joe. So, I had 1,001 questions, but we'll make a simple one. Who is your favorite Straw Hat and why?
Luffy, 100%. In my house, we say, who's your favorite character other than Luffy? Is that what you meant? Yeah.
Excluding Luffy. that's the
Excluding
easy
Luffy.
one.
that's fair.
Brooke.
Same.
Some of that has to do with the fact that Ian Sinclair is brilliant.
Hey, what's your name?
I'm Ivan.
What you got?
So I know you touched on this a little bit earlier, but I was wondering if, because I've been having this idea of getting into voice acting, and I was really curious if you had more like specific, like for someone as a novice who's like, how could I start into this? Because one of the quotes from One Piece that I've been trying to play into my own motto is the fool who makes other people smile, which is my favorite quote from the series. So that's been my life goal.
I love that. I mean, like Patty said, creating on your own, if you have that kind of brain, is fantastic because you might find your way into something that you never expected to be a thing. So I do think that is one way to go about it. But voice acting specifically, and voice acting for anime and video games even more specifically, I think a good resource is like Steve Bloom has a website. And that just gets into the nitty-gritty of answering it way more than I will up here.
Yeah, Steve Bloom and D. Bradley Baker has a site as well, too. Both those are really good
Yeah.
resources for someone in the nascent zone.
Yeah.
And I look forward to hosting you on that stage.
Thank you.
Hey, what's your name?
Aaron?
What you got?
I want to see, as Luffy gets older, has his voice gotten harder to do?
Yes, but because I'm getting older, not because he's getting older. Yeah, like when we started, 19 years ago, I was able to record Luffy like 8 hours a day. And that was the early days stuff when he was real scrappy. And then as it's just gone on, my voice has gotten weaker. I think COVID did a number on it too. So now I'm at the point where I can do 2 hours if we're not screaming the whole time. If it's like a big battle, I could probably do an hour. And yeah, I mean, that's generally, that's the answer really. It hurts.
There you go. Thank you. Hi, what's your name?
Bonnie. Bonnie, what do you have? I just want to say, I got Sparking 0, and I'm pretty good with Son Gohan, but I finally got sat down and I watched One Piece Red movie, Uda, with that.
So good.
I met on the way last year, and that would make me do it, and I just want to ask, how did you differentiate between Luffy and Son Gohan?
I mean, a lot of, and that has been like a complaint, I think, from a lot of people, is that the voices are very similar. And the truth is, I have one place. I have one apparatus. So my boy voice is stuck in the same place in my throat. And I can lighten up the gruff. I can bring it a little higher. I can bring it a little lower. I can add a little nasal. But essentially, it's coming from the same place. So I think that what is different about them is just attitude. And honestly, there's Gohan and there's Goku, and then in between them there's Luffy. But Luffy has changed over the years from being kind of light and joyful, and then after the time skip he aged a little bit, so I dropped it a little bit lower, and he's got a little bit more of a serious tone, and then in the later episodes I'm bringing back in that joyful, youthful feel. And I'm sure anywhere in that zone, you would find a Gohan or you would find a Goku. He never sounds quite as, I don't know what the right word is, carefree, dumb, as Goku. So when I do the Goku video game stuff, I try to really channel that, like, I don't know.
There you go. Thank you. Fun question. Thank you so much. Hi, what's your name?
My name is Bree. I was actually, my question got stolen, so I'm just gonna.
It happens.
Yeah, you got to make one up on the fly.
I'm just gonna ask one that's a little more fun. So I have not watched One Piece yet, and I'm gonna. It's down my pipeline of things to watch.
Yes, yeah, that's your homework assignment.
And with 2 jobs, it's a little hard to watch stuff, but. I did have a question regarding Riza Hawkeye. I wanted to ask, if Riza was an alchemist, what would her specialization be in for alchemy?
Oh, that's interesting. I mean, I feel like she kind of centers her life around Mustang and maintains him as a person in the way that a partner does. So maybe ice, so that she would kind of balance that out and be able to rein him in a little bit and shore up the weak points. Or it could be some way to make his bigger, some kind of ignition that lets his fire do more damage, maybe. Wow. Gunpowder.
There you go. Thank you.
I did not think that would be the answer. I thought you were like, oh, make bullets or something.
Yeah, maybe.
And if you start watching One Piece now, you'll be caught up by next year. Maybe. Maybe. If you take a couple weeks off from work. Yeah. Hey, what's your name?
Hey, my name's Silas, and I wanted to know what your favorite personality trait of Luffy's is.
My favorite personality trait of Luffy has always been that he lives completely in the moment. I think it's something that none of us do as well as we could be doing, and he really exemplifies it. He has a really traumatic past, but he has not been traumatized by it, which is, I think, something that not enough of us do. We are traumatized by our past because we focus on it and because we let it shape who we are in ways that limit us rather than in ways that make us grow, and he does the opposite. And then he has a goal for the future, which we all have to have, but he's not so focused on that goal for the future that he can't take care of what's in front of him or take a little side jog to this island to free some people. He is focused on the moment and living completely in the moment, and that's what lets him be as happy as he is. And I think that he is unique among main characters in anime in that he's able to live in that zone rather than kind of let things drag him down into that mopey, sad, depressed self. What is it like? The letting themselves get all caught up in themselves. That's what main characters do in anime, and he does not. So I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, what's your name?
John.
What you got, John?
Do you like in One Piece pre-time skip or time skip better?
Oh, both, and for different reasons. Pre-time skip is where you go for your comfort food. That's like, you know, if you're having a bad day, you go pre-time skip and you watch those episodes. And then post-time skip is for the heady, like I really want to get deep into something right now and I want something that's gonna take me on a journey. That is all of that animation and that like complicated storyline that's gonna be coming up pretty soon. That's I think both.
Do you got an opinion on that yourself?
I like time skip better because I don't know. I just like how Luffy is so strong.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
I agree.
fair. Hey, great question.
The
Thank
animation's
you.
awesome after time skip too.
Hey, what's your name?
James.
Hi, James. What do you want to know?
Of all the funny moments on One Piece, which one is your absolute favorite?
Oh gosh, my favorite Luffy moment of all time. I say nothing. It's just him pushing that zombie back into the ground. That's it. That's my answer.
That's good. Do you have a favorite moment?
Yes. When Luffy grabbed on and got on Mary, he hit Zoro and pushed him off the ship.
That was a good one. Thank you.
Sure. Crew abuse. That's also great.
Hey, what's your name?
My name's AJ. If there was any manga that was adapted into an anime, which one would you want?
I would love for Rosario plus Vampire to get a reboot and get like a brotherhood treatment, go back and start from the beginning of the manga and actually finish the manga and stay close to the manga and like have that whole arc. That would be my choice.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I want Space Battlecruiser Yamato, the next generation. Hey, what's your name?
Kaylin.
What you got?
So, one of my favorite pastimes is tracking voice actors across shows and hearing like just the incredible range that y'all have. So, whenever you were sitting down to direct My Hero, did you have any actors in mind for particular roles?
Right.
Because obviously, I mean, Class 1A alone is so varied just in their vocal range, let alone the rest of the show.
I didn't. It's funny because I was reading the manga while I was preparing for that show, and I could not think of who would play Deku. We had a dearth, I think, at that time of voice actors who were in that range, and I think some of them had just recently aged out of it. And I couldn't place everybody without having the lead placed. And especially in a show like that, when you're dealing with teenagers, you have to be willing to let there be three-dimensionality, even though those voices aren't going to sound exactly like they're in high school. I mean, Michael Tatum does not sound like a high schooler, but if I had made him sound like Justin Briner, there would be no depth. There would be no range to the class. So you just have to let that go and let there be range. Otherwise, it would be a very static, boring-sounding cast. So what I had to do was listen to all of the auditions exhaustively and try to place them against each other to make sure that nobody was sounding too similar. The people who sounded more serious sounded more serious. The people who were funny sounded funnier. Make sure that the girls sounded like they matched up well with the boys and with each other. It's just a puzzle. And I'll say Briner had the role the second he opened his mouth. Because I had auditioned everybody else, and I didn't know. There were a few people who were close to getting it who I was like, you're not right for it, but you're the best I have. And then somebody suggested him to me, and I am not a risk taker as a director. I cast people I know and trust. There are a lot of awesome risk-taker directors out there, people who will cast somebody who has never been in this particular kind of role and like coach them into it to try to give them a chance to expand their range. That's not me. I cast the person that sounds right immediately because I think that they will always sound right to everybody. So when I heard him and I listened to him, I was like, okay, I'm trusting you people. You directors, there were 2 of them, I think, who had suggested him. I was like, I'm trusting you that he can handle a role this big, because I've never worked with him before, and it's huge. But he was so fabulous from the get-go. And then there were people like Monica and Brina, who, after they auditioned, had the roles of Suyu and Mineta, but they could have gone either way. I wasn't sure if Brina was going to be Froppy or if Brina was going to be Mineta, and the other way around with Monica. So I just listened to them over and over again. I think it was, there was a nasal quality to Monica's, and then there was that lisp that Brina just added in, and I was like, there are going to be people who hate me for it, but it's so adorable, and I love it. So, so that's the way that went. And some people I typecast. A lot of people I typecast. Cliff is that mad. Tatum is that anal. David is that tortured. They are my brothers, and I adore them, and I know them, and those are the characters that they fit with.
Great question. Thank you. Did you ever have somebody, you don't have to give a name, but did you ever have somebody that you just kind of just, I'm going to cast them someday when I need, like somebody you kind of had, in case, you're my, in case of emergency, break glass, I'll give you a role, but.
Yes, and for all sorts of reasons. There are some people like Erica Lindbeck that I was just waiting for a chance to work with. Like, I don't know what it is, but I will work with you someday. And so when Nagant comes up, I'm like, yes. And then there's some people that are just like, you're so fabulous. I know that I need to work with you. I just don't have a role for you yet. And that has absolutely happened. And there are a number of people that I would have easily fit into lead roles in that show. And they have very small roles because that was just what they fit. They didn't quite fit into that perfect role. So if it's somebody that I gave a smaller role to, it doesn't mean I didn't respect them as much. It's just, it just didn't happen.
No, that's just how the
yeah,
roles
yeah.
are. Hey, you're good. You're good. You're good. Hey, what's your name?
Elliot. Hey, Elliot, what do you want to know? What is your least favorite One Piece character?
My least favorite One Piece character?
Yep.
Oh. The snot guy. Who is fantastic, by the way. That voice is awesome. He's disgusting. So maybe him? I love them all, though. They're all so great. The cryy ones get to me sometimes. My son and I will be watching it and be like, ugh, stop crying. So maybe, I don't know, but they're all fantastic, and it's certainly nothing against the voice actors. They're doing great jobs.
Do you have a least favorite?
Jinbei.
Jinbei. Shh. I will not tell him you said that.
Okay. It's our secret.
He's
it's
a
all
lovely
good.
person.
Good. Okay. All right. We got a few minutes left, so I'm going to close the line. So everybody in line will get to you, but I'm not going to let anybody else jump on in because I want to get everybody through all this. So, okay. Hey, what's your name?
My name is Gianni. What you got? All right. It's not One Piece related, I promise. This question isn't for me. It's for my buddy Stephanie. What is your favorite fairy tale moments?
Favorite what?
Fairy tale moments.
Fairy tale moments. Erza fighting Erza. Oh shoot, help me, Edalus. You know what I'm talking about. Erza Nightwalker. Yes. Yes. When they all changed bodies. Erza in the strawberry. That was awesome. Anytime Horologium talks, the clock that like narrates people's lives, I want that in my life. I want somebody following me around going, she said wisely. That would be fantastic.
Good. One for you and one for your friend. All right. Thank you. You or her? She's her. Oh, well, no, that's okay. I'll get hers first. Hi. What's your name?
Anya,
Anya. And what do you want to ask?
what's your favorite superhero?
Say it one more
Your
time.
favorite superhero.
My favorite superhero. Does it count if it's an anime?
And she says yes.
Monkey D. Luffy. Who's your favorite superhero?
You can think about it if you want. Yeah? No, we can come back to you. What's up?
Batman.
Robin? Nice.
Robin's a good answer.
All right. All right. Well, hey, Anya, stay with you. Here's one for you. Okay. Now stay right there. I'm gonna take this question. Okay. Hey, what's your name?
I'm Ricky. I run a YouTube channel where I talk about merch hunting and anime and stuff. What's your?
That's nice. No. What you got?
What's your favorite piece of One Piece merch, if you have any?
I have so much One Piece merch. I love so much of it. I don't know. I don't know. Things I remember all the time. I have a little, it's a simple one, but I have, you know those little egg timers that have blue liquid on the inside? I have a long one that has a Mary in it. And it's just like floating on the ocean, and I love that. Anytime, there's that poster. You've seen it at every convention you've ever been to. I should someday talk to the artist. It's the sunny, and then the reflection in the ocean is the Mary. Ugh. Anytime a poster has the ships, I'm obsessed with the ships. We got some Legos coming out. The classic pop. I like all of it. I don't know. That's there, done. The big meat,
There you
the
go,
plushy
right on.
meat things.
No problem. Thank you. Bye, Anya. Hey, what's your name?
My name is Luke.
What you got, Luke?
What was your favorite moment when in Fullmetal Alchemist, out of curiosity?
The fight with Lust was awesome. The crying in the rain scene with Mustang. I mean, I have to say, like the original, when I was directing the original, the Chimera episode 6, I think 6 through 8 was the Chimera episodes, and that was like the most impactful, I think, anime scene that I'd seen up to that point, just because it was the first time that I felt like I watched an anime episode and I was like, okay, so they're not safe. Like, the rest of this season, I will never think that any character is safe. They could all go at any moment, and that's a fun feeling. I mean, it's terrible, but it's fun because it's like you don't know what's going to happen. So maybe, that's not my favorite because it's sad, but it's my favorite because it was like, whew. I don't know. Yeah, that one's hard. That's my favorite anime.
Definitely. All right, thank you. Hey, what's your name?
I'm Jackson. What you got? What's your favorite feature of the Thousand Sunny?
The little external things, the boats that can go out and do other things. The shark, yeah, that's cool. But I love the like you go inside to the aquarium and it feels like you're in a nightclub. That's cool too. Yeah.
Good one. Thank you. Hi, what's your name?
Kayla. What you got? When voicing a character that has to yell or scream, how do they not overpower the mic?
That's a good question. You gotta have a pop screen. If you don't, you gotta have a pop screen. We have fabulous engineers who are writing the game like madmen, especially with Luffy. Like I come in and you can see them crank it down to 2 clicks, just like by virtue of me stepping in the booth. At home, I have to pull back to like here on the big screams, and you're never gonna turn your head. This thing works for popped peas, but it doesn't work for screams. I think it's really just about engineering and good mechanical equipment.
I have mic skills and the replacement of the mic and where to put it and what not to do. And the things you go along with this, all this other stuff. This is skills. Thank you for your question.
Yeah, you can't do that. I will say, honestly, the hardest part is not frying the mic on a scream. The hardest part is enabling me to hear what I'm doing while I'm being as loud as Luffy is. Because as soon as they've cranked me down, I hear myself down as well, which means that all the music and all the other people are overpowering my voice as I'm listening to it. So I'll try harder to hear, like I'll push harder so that I can hear myself, which means that I'm frying my voice out a little bit earlier than it would have. Sometimes I pop one can off. But most of the time I have to ask the engineers to like finely tune it so that I can hear myself better in the mix, which is just a headache for them, but it's necessary.
When you first start doing this, and if you're doing Ideal Circumstance with a studio, then when you put those cans on kind of for the first time, you're in that room by yourself, and that, for a lot of people, it's the first time in their life, they're in true dead silence.
Yeah.
And just like you hear yourself breathing, you're like,
and your voice sounds so different than you think it's going to sound. So.
Yeah, so experience and then good engineering. so say, got one each? Or two? Whatever. Yeah. Okay, all right, okay. Okay, so, hi, what's your name?
Leah, and I am your huge fan. I love both of your characters, Momo and Luffy, but mostly Luffy. And I was wondering, can I have a hug?
Patty's gonna get mad at you.
Oh, say we're not supposed to do that. I'm gonna go over here and look at this thing and audit it and make sure that it's okay and it's doing things right. So what my guest does when my back is turned is, let's see. Let me talk to my stage manager for a second. How are we doing on time? Are we good? We're good? Okay, all right. We got one more question on the way, too.
Hey,
okay. Oh, hey. All right. Okay. What'd I miss? Hey, welcome back. What was your name again?
Joe. Sorry, I'm also her emotional support human, so.
That's fine. That was her freebie, by the way.
Of course, no one else one and done, I know. To be honest, I'm mostly just stand up here to help support her. But I guess ask a question. Would you have seen, or would you even want a rubber ducky going merry?
Ooh, that'd be fun.
If you've seen one, I would love to know if you've seen it where I can get it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I don't even see Luffy rubber duckies. I see Lilith rubber duckies from time to time, but I haven't seen a Luffy one, I don't think.
All right, well, if you spot one in the wild, tag it on social media.
I would absolutely do that.
Thank you very much. Hi, I'm Patty. I would love to know what kind of upcoming projects maybe on the horizon that you're allowed to share with us.
One can only hope that Egghead returning means that I will be returning. We are officially caught up for the first time in our history, so hopefully that continues. I would love for that to be the case. We've got, let's see, Shangri-La Frontier is going on. I'm playing Rust in that, which is fabulous. Solo Leveling, I just appeared as Jinu's mom. I think Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic Season 2 should be coming up soon. Oh, we've got Fire Force Season 3 coming back in April. And if you haven't been watching 100 Years Quest for Fairy Tail, that's around. We've finished the first season.
One final question. Would you like to take a picture with this lovely audience?
Yeah!
All right, everybody. Here's what we're going to do. Invite everybody to come towards the stage. Not on the stage, please. Towards the stage up here. Want to take a picture of our amazing guest. And all of you...